What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from SRL, the Sandro Racing League F1 2020 on the PS4 platform. This is Season 6, Round 20 here at Mexico, and I am still trying to wake up. It is bright and early in the morning here on the U.S. East Coast. It's almost like the old days when you used to wake up at 7:30 to actually catch an F1 race. But welcome to Round 20, Mexico, and I'm not going to lie, I don't have all my notes together this early in the morning, and I've been super busy with my personal life that I haven't been able to get caught up. I actually missed last week's race. I believe they had Jensen Randall fill in for me, which was a nice reprieve. Gave the opportunity for somebody else to win a race. I don't know who that was. I wasn't able to see. But what I do know is we are getting ready to launch a 18-minute short qualifying session followed by a 50% race. And we've got a lot of things to talk about. We'll go down the driver lineup here in just a moment as we wait for this game to load. I do know that heading into today's race that we've got a total of 4 race bans from penalties that have stacked up from round 19 at Singapore. And one of those is the big name Nick Van Gelder. Nick Van Gelder is actually the winningest driver here at Mexico. He's won here twice in SRL, and he will not be able to participate today. He has got a race ban and was disqualified from Singapore for failing to serve his qualifying ban from 3 races ago at this point. So he had a qualifying ban and did not serve it at Hanoi, round 18. And that carried over to round 19 at Singapore, where he did not serve it again. And unfortunately, that forced the stewards to disqualifying from Singapore and hand him a race ban. And the bad luck continues for Nick Van Gelder this year. The Season 4 champion has had a very uncharacteristic season, and we certainly hope that he does get his head in the game. And Liam Hill has a 2-race ban stemming from an incident at Singapore, where he intentionally tried to wreck another driver, and essentially did wreck another driver. And that also stacked up his total of penalty points. So he got 10 total penalty points over the course of the last 12 months. So that forces another race ban. So he has 1 race ban to serve because of the actual incident, on-track incident itself from Singapore, and the total of 10 penalty points accrued in the last 12 months. And the same can be said for Felipe. Him and Liam Hill are actually the ones that went back and forth with each other. Felipe has a race ban as well for trying to deliberately wreck another driver. It is something that SRL does not stand for in the league. So it's going to be a small grid today. 13 drivers. Let's get some information up here. Get the track map up here at Mexico. And Dennis Carenches is going to be in the Racing Point. Rhys March coming out of pit road. He'll be in the Haas. Jensen Randall's back on track in the Mercedes. Logan Aranda in the Haas. Dion Stalls in the Ferrari. We've got Jan Holm back on track today in the AlphaTauri. NRG Destructors Jim Sanitas. He'll be in the factory Renault, followed by Colin Higgins. 0AK is Aleski, rocking the Red Bull today. Is going to be the only Red Bull. No Jon Marusic and no Nick Van Gelder. Aleski is a reserve driver. So at least we'll have all of the manufacturers represented. And Chitty 17. I don't know who that is, because I don't have my notes ready, and I don't remember. That is Dennis Gutnick, something of that nature. That's another Dennis. 2 Dennises in this league, and neither one of you can have a normal last name. Then we've got Cameron Weston Edwards in the McLaren, and then Max Mulder in the other Racing Point, and then Sandro Julius will be running out your 13 drivers for today's race. And we will try and pick up Dennis Carenches. I think he is the first one out on track trying to set a timed lap. Dennis is usually the first one out on track. Have to bear with me. I'm trying to get some coffee into my body so I can wake up. I shouldn't have been up until 3 in the morning playing Fortnite, but it's so damn addictive. That's right, along with Dennis through the very, very tough S's. And it looks like Logan is the first one to set a lap at a 1:13.969, so he's going to set the staple for qualifying so far. And Cameron Weston Edwards comes across the line with a 1:14.5. Dennis coming through the penultimate corner now, trying to get that power down, and he's going to come across the line. Looks like a 1:14.097 for Dennis Carenchis. Colin Higgins comes across 1:15.577. We'll pick up Jensen Randall. He's just now starting his first hot lap. Picking up a little bit of a slipstream off of Colin Higgins down that big long front straightaway. Now, is Colin going to be holding up Jensen? See another car get out of the way there. That was Dennis Carenchis getting out of the way. Higgins looks like he's still trying to be on a fast lap. Oh, that was cut very close. And Jensen through these S's. The S's are such a key part of this track, and Jensen Randall just invalidated his lap time you see there. Too many times cut in the corner. But the S's are so tough at this track. It's a very key part of Sector 2. You can gain a lot of time there, but you can lose a huge chunk of time trying to get those S's just right. And it looks like Jensen is going to dive into the pits. We've seen some other guys set some times. Dion Stahl with a 1:16.649. Jan Holm 1:18. Dennis Gutnick a 1:19. And Jensen Randall. Oh, Jensen's retiring. Why is Jensen retiring? Does he have a qualifying ban that I don't remember? Anyways, we will pick up... Actually, let's pick up Rhys March. And Rhys is out on another out lap. He has yet to set a time. So we're waiting on times from Rhys March, Jim Sanitas, Aleski, and Sandro Dulius. And we've got Logan around, Epic the Animal. Logan saying that Jensen might be doing a last to first challenge since the championship has been clinched. We should mention that Jensen Randall has clinched the Season 6 championship here on F1 2020 on the PS4 platform for SRL. So congratulations to him. I think he did that a couple of races ago. Pretty sure we announced that at Hanoi, but I've been unable to make last week due to work issues. And looks like Jan Holm is going to head into the pits. We'll pick up Dennis Gutnick. Gutnick is heading through the stadium section. Whoa! Dennis Gutnick almost pulls a Valtteri Bottas and puts himself into the wall there at the penultimate corner. And into the final corner. So he's going 1:16.929. And we got our buddy Max Mulder on the live chat as well. Max has gone fourth quickest so far with a 1:15.318. You see Gutnick is getting out of the way of an oncoming car, so he's not on a hot lap. We'll pick up Dennis Carenchis. And he's just now starting another hot lap. We'll ride along with him. Down this other long straightaway, DRS slot open on the rear wing. Some more hard 90-degree turns. Seems to be Formula One's new favorite corner over the last many years with the new circuits. Keeps that double apex corner there nice and tight. That was a really good corner for him. Now through the very, very tricky S's. Cuts it a little tight there, but he hasn't validated the time yet. DRS slot open at the second DRS zone. Got a slower car off to the right into the stadium section. Dennis Gutnick and Oleski has gone top of the charts with a 1:13.666, and Gutnick trying to get out of the way and a 1:14.0. So Karenchis improves his time but not his position. He is now third quickest, and I don't know if maybe Gutnick might have held him up just a little bit. I don't think it was intentional. It's a very tight part of the course, and Dennis is going to call that on that lap time. And Sandro Dulius has come out and finally set a lap time of a 1:14.348. Good enough for fourth quickest so far. We'll pick up Colin Higgins. Higgins is on another hot lap. Colin Higgins, a very interesting young man, actually contributes to Drive Tribe Online. He makes some really good Formula One articles to read, posts them on his Facebook. I recommend everybody definitely check it out. A lot of the stuff he puts up is definitely worth the read. He's recently done an article on the 1991 Jordan, which is made more famous by Schumacher's qualifying effort at Spa more than anything else. But he does talk about the engineering and the design of the car. Really good article. And the 91 Jordan, I will say that it wasn't the fastest car, but it's definitely a cool looking car. It's very low slung. It had a lot of potential and very slippery through the air. Obviously, it didn't have the performance that was needed in Schumacher's effort at Spa, where he put it 7th on the grid. Was the high point of that weekend, as we see Colin struggling for grip. And he's going to dive into the pits. So all of that was for nothing. Thank you, Colin. We'll pick up Max Mulder. He's out on the track. He's 0.02 of a second up on his previous time. That's not going to do him a whole lot to garner him any more positions. He needs at least a 0.5 second to get in front of Colin Higgins for the 6th position. We see Logan is on an out lap. He's getting ready. He's coming out of the stadium section now. We'll ride on board with him. We'll see if he's got anything for Oleski. Oleski's been very impressive in the couple of races that he's done so far. He's shown a lot of good pace. Hasn't necessarily had the finishes that he was looking for. But with Jensen doing a back to front, as it would be, and Logan really cutting the corners there, try and gain as much time as he can. He hasn't validated the time yet. He's purple sector 1, so that's good. He's up on his previous time. The S's is going to be the deciding factor, I think. Nice and steady through the S's. That is some good driving by Logan Arond, and he is a IRS, International Racing Series champion. He's got a nice big trophy to show for it. It was hard fought, well deserved. He is a pad driver as well, and he's made it a mission to be one of the fastest pad drivers in the world. And a 1:13.256. He goes 0.4 quicker than Oleski. Great qualifying effort from Logan Arond with 6 minutes to go left in the session. We'll pick up Cameron Weston Edwards, and he is diving into the pits. He's invalidated his lap time. Looks like he's struggling a little bit for pace. Pick up Jan Holm. Jan Holm is diving into the pits as well. Let's see if Jim Sanitas he's coming out of the stadium section. He's yet to set a time. He looks like he's going to come through the last corner, see what kind of time he can set. And a 1:14.940, good enough for 7th on the grid. That puts him right behind his Renault teammate, Colin Higgins. And Dennis Carenchis looks like he's asking. He doesn't know what Dennis is or what Jensen is doing. Not real sure what Jensen's doing. He hasn't posted anything on the live chat, and I haven't talked to him. But oh, I'm sorry, he has posted in the live chat. He is going to do the last to first challenge. So Jensen Randall's going to go from last to first, so he thinks. Not saying it can't be done. The driver that I know of that's the best at doing that is Luke Smith, the reserve driver out of Australia. Unfortunately, he is not joining us today, but Luke has done that on a number of occasions this year where he would start dead last and work his way towards the front, not just on raw pace, but on strategy. And there we see Jim Sanitas doing his best Ken Block impression, but unfortunately the Drift King title currently goes to Nick Van Gelder. And in fact, Nick has won here twice, but had a abysmal race here. I think it might have been last season in the wet, where he just could not get the car hooked up at all. So we'll pick up Dennis Carenchis. Looks like Dennis is starting a hot lap. See if he can get a little bit of help from his teammate. And that's Max Mulder. Max getting out of the way, and he's going to try and drag him down this next straightaway. Whoa, Max didn't get the power down quick enough, but yeah, we've got Ivan Brito on the live chat. Good to have Ivan with us, former SRL driver and IRL driver nonetheless. Actually has a couple of IRL wins in the F3 tier series, so good on him. We look forward for him coming back one day here to SRL, but due to... Whoa, Chitty! Dennis Gutnick! Dennis Carenchis, hard contact, and now Dennis Gutnick is going to have to come around and get a new front wing. So I don't know that was really anybody's fault. That's the S's. That's we've talked about it. That's probably the trickiest spot on the track, and very much a one-lane area of the track as well. And Carenchis was on a flyer. Chitty. I think he might have been on a cool-down lap. So I don't know that there was any malice involved there. That'll probably have to get reviewed by the stewards. I'm sure Carenchis will flag that as an incident, but that's definitely going to have to be looked at. That was... that's hard to say. That's hard to say. That's a very fast section of the track, obviously. It's a very hard section of the track, and looks like one driver's just going too fast. The other one's going too slow. We're going to pick up Cameron Weston Edwards, though. Edwards looks like he's 2/10 off of his previous time as he comes through the S's. And we're down to the 2-minute warning. Logan Arond has retired from the session. I guess he feels like a 1:13.256 is good enough. So that is your provisional pole time. Edwards has invalidated his lap time. We'll see if he comes around to start another one. And it looks like Edwards is going to dive into the pits and call it a day. He's not going to have enough time to get back around and start another flyer. So he's going to be done for the day, it would seem. Oleski is currently on an out lap. Looks like Dennis might be done as well. He's going to be probably locked in at a 1:14.0. Sandro Dulias is leaving the pit lane. He's got enough time to get around and start another hot lap. Took up Max Mulder. Mulder's flying by. And we saw him give Carenchis a bit of a tow down the front straightaway and the second straightaway after turn 3. But that didn't bode well for... And Max Mulder is going to let Sandro go by. So not sure what Max is doing there. Cameron Weston Edwards has retired from the session. We'll pick up Colin Higgins. Higgins currently in Sector 2, heading through the S's now. And Jensen Randall making a point in the Dennis and Dennis incident, stating Gutnick needs to be more aware of the cars, and looks like Colin just invalidated his lap time, so he's got enough time. He's going to come around. That would have improved his time, not his position, but he's going to give it one more try. We'll pick up Oleski. Oleski is 39 thousandths of a second up on his previous time. He's currently second quickest as he heads through the S's, trying to take a stab at pole. Time is up. Dennis Carenci's time is locked in, 1:40.065. Max Mulder's is locked in. Oleski has just gone purple in Sector 2. So last-ditch effort by Oleski. Can he snatch pole position from Logan Arond? 1:13.256 is the time to beat. And a 1:13.321, just a tick off. Oleski is going to be starting in the second spot. We'll pick up Sandro Dulius. He's currently on a flyer as he heads into the S's. Whoa! Sandro with a moment! Woo! Sandro manages to save the car, but unfortunately has invalidated his lap time because of that, and he'll be locked in at a 1:14.348. We'll pick up Colin Higgins. Higgins is coming through the last corner now. Looks like he had a moment there. He is off the pace. We'll pick up Rhys March. So far, Rhys has only been able to muster a 1:15.145, and it looks like he is off the pace. So that will do it for qualifying. Logan Arond with a pole position. Good on him. Jensen Randall did not set a time. He's going to do the last to first challenge since the championship has been locked up by him, and he's got nothing to lose at this point. So a fairly eventful qualifying session, even with so many race bans and the car count only being down to 13. As I've always said with SRL, car count being low does not mean it will be low on action. So, and of course timing and scoring is screwed up, so we will continue to watch Rhys March circulate in the Haas until the time remaining officially does run out. Codemasters making the same game for years and years and still can't get it right. It's really mind-boggling. Yeah, there's a nice little incident there. Dennis Gutnick running into the back of Rhys March. So low on car count does not mean low on action as we wait for this to and we've got Nick Van Gelder said he'd love to be a part of it today. Let's hope for an exciting race like in season 4. Still one of my favorite races. Well, Nick, you can be a part. You're always welcome to join me in the booth. And finally, it looks like the timing is officially up. We're waiting for it to move forward. There we go. So here is your starting order. Logan Arond with the pole position, followed by Oleski. Dennis Carenci is in third. Sandro Dulius fourth. Cameron Weston Edwards is fifth. Max Mulder is sixth. Colin Higgins is seventh. Dion Stahl eighth. Jim Sanitas is ninth. Rhys March 10th. Dennis Gutnick is 11th. Jan Holm is starting in the 12th position, and Jensen Randall did not set a time. He is going to do the last to first challenge. So that is going to round out your 13 cars for today's race. And another reason why the car count is low today is we did have to alter the time in order for me to make the race to commentate because of work issues. And it also worked out a little bit. It actually worked out well for Logan as well, because Logan has to work as well as pretty much as soon as this race is over. So, and Nick saying it'll be interesting to see how Jensen can progress from the back. There's definitely a potential for big groups and close racing with the slipstream on the long straightaway. So, Nick, the offer is there. If you'd like to join me in the booth, by all means, let me know. We'll get you in here. Always good to have a racer's perspective. And Nick has even done some commentating. He's filled in for me the Project Cars 2, so he's definitely got some experience there, but he may be a little salty given his disqualification and race ban, but let's just say that doesn't take anything away from Nick being a really stand-up guy. Nick is one of the nicest guys in SRL, probably the nicest guy in SRL, to be honest with you, and really just a stand-up guy in general. But if he's salty, I can get that. He's got a lot of passion for racing. He loves his Formula One. He loves his MotoGP. And he is a Season 4 champion, and he's had a really bad year this year, and I'm sure he's hoping to turn it around next season. So run down to the running order one more time as we do the warm-up lap. Epic, the Animal, Logan Aron, a former IRS champion, starting on pole position. He'll be followed very closely by Oleski. That's going to be a fun battle to watch. Oleski in the lone Red Bull. We said earlier he's shown some pace in the first few races that he's been able to participate in here for SRL. And Dennis Carrenchis, who's always fast, he's got a lot of bad luck that happens to him. We saw a little bit of that luck in qualifying where he came upon the slower car of Dennis Gutnick in the S's. But Dennis Carrenchis in top three, that's going to be a really fun battle. Sandro Dulius will be starting in the fourth position. And it's funny that Sandro and Cameron can never seem to shake each other. They are very close in points. They are always very close to each other on track. They have always said for a number of years now that they are on-track rivals but off-track friends. Cameron Weston Edwards, it should be noted, started IRL, the International Racing League, years ago, and has since handed that off to other people to take it over. But they had combative leagues there for a little while. They have even done an IRL versus SRL race at one point, which was fun and messy at the same time. Max Mulder will be starting in the sixth position. He'll be followed by Colin Higgins. We talked a little bit about him and his contributions to Drive Tribe Online, so definitely check that out. Dion Stahl, teammate of Sandro Dulius since Season 1, and they have already confirmed that they will be partnering up again for Season 7 as we see Jim Sanitas go for a spin on the warm-up lap. Rhys March will be starting in 10th. Dennis Gutnick in the 11th spot. Jan Holm 12th, and then Jensen Randall bringing up the rear, and he's going to try and do the last to first challenge, and he'll do that being the lone driver starting on the medium tires. So we will wait for the 5 red lights as we wait for the game to reset. Oh, that was a nice little glitch. Okay. Here we go. 5 red lights. Lights are out. Time to run what you brung their way to puff of smoke. And it's a good start by the top 3 drivers. Look at Dennis Carrenchis get away. Slow start for Sandro Dulius. He's dropped to 5th. We've already got some action in the back. They're 3 and 4 wide as they come down into turn 1. Yeah, look at this. Colin Higgins trying to make a move. And it looks like Dennis Carrenchis was able to get up in front of Oleski down the front straightaway. We've got Max Mulder shuffling here in the back. Dion Stahl trying to make a move around the outside. Look at that's one of the Haas's. Is that Rhys who's gotten a little sideways? And what's happened to Rhys? And Rhys, I don't know if Rhys is just getting out of the way to avoid any potential issues. That was kind of weird. I don't know, maybe he's had a controller issue, foot slipped off the pedal. I don't know. That was weird. But meanwhile, back up front, Logan Aron already starting to pull away from Dennis Carrenchis. He's already got a second gap over Dennis in the opening lap. Dennis Oleski. Oh, and timing and scoring is going to be messed up. And apparently DRS is enabled, and somehow we're on lap 3. Okay, is anybody catching any of this? All right, so we've time traveled. We've skipped a whole lap. We started on lap 1. It's now lap 3 after 1 lap. Does the game count the warm-up lap as a lap? Anyways, timing and scoring's messed up. DRS is enabled. Logan Aron is your leader. He has got a 1.2 second gap over Dennis Carrenchis, who's followed closely by Oleski and Cameron Weston Edwards. There's a 3-second time penalty for Dennis Gutnick, who is currently running in last as Rhys March gets around him. Rhys, we saw, had an incident on the opening lap. Now Timing and Scoring is back to saying that this is the second lap of the race. I don't know if it takes away the DRS. Man, this is just unbearable sometimes with Codemasters. We're going to watch this battle for second place, though, because Oleski is all over the back of Dennis Karenchis. And now the DRS is enabled. Now we're on lap 3. And Nick Van Gelder making a pointing out that the Mexican Grand Prix in SRL has always had a Dutch winner. I don't know who's a Dutch driver today. Who's Dutch? Is that Oleski? Oleski's Greek, isn't he? Help me out, Nick. And another 3-second time penalty for Dennis Gutnick. So Gutnick is off to a very, very rough go. And it looks like Rhys March is making a move on Jan Holm for the 11th spot, so working his way back up towards the top 10. Next on his hit list is going to be Jim Sanitas in the Renault. Meanwhile, Dennis Karenchis trying to hold off Oleski. Looks like Oleski's losing a little bit of time through the S's. And we do have a bit of a battle back here for the 5th spot. We've got Sandro Dulius being closely followed by Max Mulder. So Max Mulder trying to close in on Sandro Dulius for the 5th position. Meanwhile, Epic the Animal is out to a 3-second lead over the battle for second. This is Dennis Karenchis, and here comes Oleski riding on board with him. We'll see if he makes a move down into turn 1. And if Oleski's smart, he'll save that move for this next straightaway. Tiptoeing their way through turns 1 through 3, and a 3-second time penalty for Dion Stahl. That's a rarity. No, it's not. Dion gets a timing penalty every race. Look at this to the outside. Karenchis trying to take away the defensive line. Oleski holds tough on the outside, and he's going to push him wide, and Karenchis is going to drop to 3rd. Great move by Oleski to take the 2nd spot, and we see the battle back there for 4th. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's Cameron Weston Edwards in the McLaren, Sandro Dulius in the Ferrari, followed by Max Mulder, and Jensen Randall doing the last to first challenges up to the 7th spot. So that's a 4-car battle for the 4th spot. And look at this train through the stadium section here. And now Sandro is going to have the DRS, but he is going to be... Oh, and there's a move in the back there. We see there's a side-by-side battle. Jensen Randall getting around Max Mulder for the 6th spot. So Jensen on the move again. Mulder trying to come back to the inside. Not close enough to make that work. And here we go. Sandro on Cameron. Cameron sliding that rear end just a little bit. And a 3-second time penalty for Jim Sanitas. Sandro going to try and bait him. Dives to the inside. Crossover move. Here comes Jensen Randall, and a crossover move by Cameron Weston Edwards. Can't get the power down. And he gets back to the inside. Here comes Jensen. And you're not going to be able to go side by side through the S's. Who's going to give up the position? And this 4-car battle continues. Whoa, and Jensen, almost made a move, diving to the inside of Cameron Weston Edwards. Meanwhile, Oleski has lost the position back out to Dennis Karenchis. Karenchis back out into the 2nd spot. Jensen Randall all over the back of Cameron Weston Edwards now. This is going to be an easy pass for Jensen Randall. So Jensen's going to have the slipstream. He's going to be able to tuck in. He's going to go to the inside of Cameron. He's going to go for the 2-for-1 deal down this long straightaway. Can he outbreak Sandro Dulius? It looks like he thought about it. Cameron's still there. And Jensen Randall going to dive to the inside of Sandro Dulius and make easy work of him. He is up into the 4th spot. And Jensen Randall making moves on the dance floor, and now he is going to pull away with his raw pace. So that will leave a 3-car battle for the 5th position. That'll be Sandro Julius, Cameron Weston Edwards, and Max Mulder. Meanwhile, we've had more timing penalties pop up. There's another 3-second timing penalty for Dennis Gutnick. Gutnick that's at least 3 that I know he's got. He is going to be, he is going to have to reevaluate his online racing career after today's race. Oleski's got a timing penalty that we know of. Dion Stahl, Colin Higgins, Jim Sanitas, and Rhys March all have timing penalties. And Jan Holm will now pick up a 3-second timing penalty on top of the one that he already has. So, timing penalties galore here at the Mexican Grand Prix, working lap 7 of 36. Whoa! Sandro Julius, the back end kicks out on that as he tries to get the power down. Trying to separate himself from Cameron Weston Edwards just a little bit. Change for position at second spot. This is side by side. Dennis Karenchis and Oleski going side by side once again. And while these two are battling it out, Jensen Randall is starting to close in on that battle for second. There you see Jensen coming into shot, and he is going to be all over Dennis Karenchis. So Jensen Randall showing his raw pace. And he's on the alternate tire strategy. He's the only driver that started on the medium tires. And he should be able to make easy work of Dennis Karenchis. Yeah, surprisingly, didn't make that move down the front straightaway. It looks like he's going to save that for this straightaway here coming out of turn 3. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to make a move, but Dennis, on the other hand, looks like he's going to try and make a move on Oleski. Dives to the inside. A little bit of argy-bargy here. They're going to start shoving each other. And look at this, Jensen Randall trying to make it 3 wide. Looking for the 2-for-1 deal coming out of here. And Karenchis and Oleski. Oh, no! And that's Karenchis! Oh, no, was it Jensen Randall? It was Jensen Randall. Randall had contact. And it looks like Karenchis has also had some issues. He's also lost his end plate. Jensen Randall now, he is trying to make that last to first challenge, but he is running to a snag here. And Karenchis just picked up a 3-second timing penalty because of that. So Jensen Randall is going to have to pit for a front wing and a new set of shoes. Dennis Karenchis is going to have to do the same. Max Mulder up into 4th. Sandro Julius up into 3rd now. So Dennis Karenchis, Jensen Randall, that was a 3-car battle in a very tight part of the track. And Oleski and Dennis Karenchis, two aggressive drivers. Jensen, I think, was being a little overzealous trying to make that move there. He really could have bided his time and picked a better spot on the track, knowing that those two were side by side. So that's probably, I mean, right now for me, that's a racing incident. That's too many cars on a very tight part of the track. And it looks like Dennis, that's the bad luck we've talked about with Karenchis. It looks like Max Mulder may have had an issue. Looks like he's coming out of the corner sideways. He lost a couple of spots. Looks like Jim Sanitas and Colin Higgins has gotten in front of him. So the factory Renault's up into 4th and 5th. That's a great day for the Renault team. So the only 3 drivers to not pick up a timing penalty so far. Logan Aron, who is the leader of this race. He's out in front to the tune of 10.3 seconds over Oleski. Now Oleski's going to pit. Here comes Sandro Julius. Julius is going to pit as well. Oh, and Oleski, looks like Oleski's getting a front wing, so Sandro's going to beat him out of the pits. That's going to move Sanitas up into the second spot, followed by Max Mulder in third. Rhys Marsh has quietly worked his way into the fourth spot after dropping all the way back to 13th on the opening lap. Cameron Weston Edwards, one of 3 drivers who does not have a penalty. Logan Arond, Cameron Weston Edwards, and Colin Higgins. I was right the first time. Are the only 3 drivers to not have a timing penalty. Nope, I was wrong. It's Rhys Marsh is the other driver. Need to put my glasses on. So now Logan is out front to the tune of 19.7 seconds. And he is going to dive into the pits. So 20-second gap back to second place. I think pit stop delta here is like 21 to like 23 seconds or something like that. I can't remember. But I don't think he's not going to be in the window, I think, is going to be the issue. He's going to lose the position. He's back out in front, or he's back out of the pits. Now here comes Sanitas. And it's going to be close. Here comes Sanitas, tucked back in. And I stand corrected. Logan just showed me that, it's going to be tight side by side. Sanitas locks up the front wheels, and Epic just showed me that the pit stop delta is exactly 20.192 seconds heading into the pits. I do think Sanitas was a little forgiving there and did give Epic that corner when he could have fought a little bit better for it. But I think Sanitas knows he's not the quicker driver. He is on older softs. So let's get some tire detail up here for you guys as we take a look. Logan going back on another set of softs. So Logan's going to make this a 2-stop strategy. We see Jim Sanitas, Max Mulder, and Rhys Marsh have yet to pit. And Cameron Weston Edwards looks like he's the first one on the medium tires, followed by Sandro Dulius, Oleski, Jensen Randall, Dion Stahl. Colin Higgins has gone in and out on another set of soft tires. And Dennis Gutnick is on a set of hards. And Dennis Gutnick. There's about 12 cars in this race right now, not 13. Oof. Let's see Jensen Randall. So still waiting for the pit sequence to be over. Drivers shuffling around a little bit, but a good run by a couple of these drivers and some bad luck for some others. And my apologies for coughing in everybody's ear. Apparently my throat is not feeling it today. Here we go. Max Mulder has closed in on Jim Sanitas. And Colin Higgins picks up another 3-second time penalty. And Logan has just run the fastest lap of this race, a 1:16.263. And it looks like Max Mulder and Jim Sanitas are going to continue to circulate. Look at Sanitas trying to break up that slipstream. Doesn't want to give up the position to Max. He needs to be careful doing that, swinging that car that hard down the straightaway. And you see them tires are starting to give up as he locks up the right front heading into the corner. We saw him lock up a lap ago and he let Logan go by. Max is going to have the DRS slot open. Sanitas going to try and take away the inside line. Crossover move by Max Mulder. Outside to inside. Gets that power down. And can he get the run to the corner? He gets in there. And now you can't go side by side through the S's. We saw how this worked out earlier. And Sanitas is going to take that position back. The 3-second time penalty for Dion Stahl. Max Mulder trying to work his way around. It's a very dangerous spot on the track to try and make a move. He's going to get a run coming out of there. He'll have the DRS slot open once again. And behind these guys, there's a very familiar four-car battle that's stacked up. Cameron Weston Edwards, followed by Sandro Dulius, followed by Oleski, followed by Jensen Randall, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So Jensen Randall finds himself in the 7th position again with 4 cars to pass. And a 3-second time penalty for Rhys March. And here goes Oleski trying to make a move on Sandro. Sandro trying to defend, and Jensen Randall not sure what to do as he dives to the outside. And now this has become a mess here. This is a 5-car battle. We look at the back of Sandro's car. Everybody diving to the inside. Oleski and Jensen Randall side by side. Cameron Weston Edwards has gotten by Sanitas. Max Mulder has fallen back to 7th. Jensen Randall still to the inside of Oleski. Oh, and somebody's off, and that's Oleski into the wall. Oleski into the wall, and very much like we saw, he comes down back on track in front of Dion Stoll and Colin Higgins. And the same spot, the same scenario. This time it's a different car into the wall. Oh, and Jim Sanitas looks like he's blown the braking point, and he's run very far into the end of the straightaway, the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall muscled his way into 4th, I guess. The 3-car battle for the 2nd spot. And this is, whoa, Sandro to the inside of Cameron Weston Edwards. And now it's 3 wide coming through here. Jensen Randall trying to make his move. Jensen around the outside of Sandro Dulius. Power move by Jensen Randall. And Jensen's going to dive to the inside of Cameron Weston Edwards to take the 2nd spot. So you got to hand it to Jensen Randall. Collectively, he has passed more cars on track today than any other driver. And there you see Jensen's raw speed as he is going to set his sights on Logan Arand, who is 21.856 seconds ahead, leading this race. And I'm sure Logan is looking at timing and scoring, and he's going to have that 22-second gap. Now, they're going to be altering tire strategies, I believe. Jensen has gone medium, so he'll be able to switch to the softs in the closing end of this race. Logan has gone soft. He'll have to switch to the mediums at the end of this race. Meanwhile, Cameron Weston Edwards and Sandro Dulius will be battling it out for the final podium spot. Colin Higgins has made his way up into 5th. He's just gotten around Dion Stoll heading into the turn 1. Dennis Carenchis, he is back in the 7th spot. Rhys March is 8th. Max Mulder is one of 2 drivers now who does not have a timing penalty. Jim Sanitas is making the move on. Oh, and around goes. And around goes. Chitty chitty bang bang. Dennis Gutnick into the wall. Virtual safety car. And Jim Sanitas is retired from the session. Oh. Okay. It was a very slow portion. I don't know if Jim did that on purpose. I know he had some struggles in the stadium section earlier, and Dennis Gutnick. So virtual safety car is in effect. And we're back to green flag racing. DRS is enabled. Looks like Sandro lost a little bit of time to Cameron Weston Edwards for that 3rd spot, but Dennis Carenchis looks like he's closing in on Dion Stoll. Getting my Ferraris mixed up there for a second. Oh, and Dennis is going to make the move to the inside. So Carenchis moves up into 6th spot, going to set his sights on Colin Higgins, who's had a great race up into 5th. And Jim Sanitas has officially left the session, done for the day. We had a virtual safety car come out because of the incident with Dennis Gutnick on the straightaway, wrecking the car, losing the front wing. And then then Jim Sanitas in the stadium section, I don't know if it was on purpose or if he was just having rear grip issues, but crashed the car right before pit road. And now we've got this 3-car battle here. This is Colin Higgins, followed by Dennis Carenchis, followed by Dion Stahl. And it seems like this 5th, 6th, and 7th, it doesn't seem to matter what cars are in those positions. There's a battle for it. There goes Dennis Carenchis. I was trying to get a better shot of that, but he blows by Colin Higgins to pick up the 5th position. Meanwhile, Dennis Gutnick picked up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Gutnick is on the verge of getting 30 seconds worth of in-game timing penalties, which would disqualify him from the race. And at that point, there will be a reevaluation of his on-track performances for the league, stemming from all that. So Dennis Gutnick having a really, really rough time here in Mexico. And we see Dennis Carenchis up into 5th and has left that battle between Colin Higgins and Dion Stahl. Dion looking to make a move as they come out of the back straightaway. They make contact. They're side by side as they head down the back straightaway. And around the outside goes Dion Stahl. Woo! He had a good run coming out of that final S and onto the back straight. Makes the move going into the stadium section. But look at this, Colin Higgins all over the back of him. Oh, a little bit of a twitch there from Colin. Now he's going to have the DRS advantage around this really, really long front straightaway. It's almost a mile long. Oh, and a lockup from Dion heading into the corner. I thought Colin was going to dive bomb in there and try and make it work. Varying tire strategies here as well. It looks like Colin's on the softs, Dion on the mediums. And another lockup by Dion heading into that corner. And this is there, you lose a lot of time there. Colin tiptoeing his way through the S's. And it looks like he is going to lose out on some time there. And that is actually your closest battle on track. Working lap 20 of 36. Logan Arond is still your leader out in front to the tune of 23.2 seconds. Jensen Reynolds still trying to make up that gap. Now, that gap was as large as 26 seconds after the virtual safety car. Jensen has now got it down to 23.2, so he's making a little bit of headway. Sandro is 8 seconds behind that, and he's bringing Cameron Weston Edwards with him. The battle for the final podium spot is still on. It's these two, they are like glue with each other, I tell you what. You can go back through almost any race this season. I think this season has been the closest match between these two guys. It seems like, now Sanders had a little bit of worse luck with his finishing positions, but you pick any race so far this year, and at any given point, you're going to find these two, one behind the other. Looks like Sandra ran that corner very wide. But these guys seem to be always stuck on track with each other. Now, Sandro's season hasn't gone exactly the way he's wanted it to, and Cameron's still looking for that maiden SRL victory. He almost had it last year, I think, at Australia. He crossed the line first, but because of timing penalties, he dropped back to third. He didn't get that win like we had hoped. He is an Indy 500 champion for SRL, which Indy 500, SRL will run that after the F1 season. They do a one-off Indy 500 race on Project Cars 2. And always interesting to watch. I will be participating in it once again for my third time. And Chitty Bang Bang, Dennis Gutnick has retired from the session. Don't know if he did that on track. Oh, and Sandro picked up a timing penalty. So timing penalties will be a factor, especially with these two guys, because they're so close together. I don't know who's got more timing penalties over the other. Max Mulder closing in on Rhys March. This is the battle for 7th. But yes, the Indy 500 will be run on Project Cars 2 over the summer. And we will start to prepare for F1 2021 on the new game by Electronic Arts. And we will see how that pans out. I don't know how I feel about that. Could it be any worse than Codemasters? Maybe. Knowing Electronic Arts, you'll probably have to buy every single thing for the car in the game, but what can you do? Looks like Dion Stahl has pitted and come back out. Okay, and did I miss something? Yes, I did. Did Logan pit for new tires? Yes, he did. So Logan has pitted, come back out on the fresh set of mediums just in front of Jensen Randall. So now the battle is really on. 2.5 second gap. Oh, and there's a 3-second time penalty for Jensen Randall. So that's a saving grace for Logan. Logan is one of 2 drivers who does not have a timing penalty, and he's out in front of this race. He's got a car in front of him. Not sure who that was. Might have been Jan Holm. So Logan playing the tire and pit strategy. He doesn't have to pit. Now Jensen's going to have to pit again. Oh, and Jan Holm's going to retire from this session. He's going to retire into the pits. Ah, come on, Jan. You could have finished this one out. So the good news is we started with 13. We're down to 10. So everybody left has the opportunity to score a championship point. And we see Max Mulder and Rhys March swapping positions heading into turn 1. Now Rhys March will have the DRS advantage going into the second. Oh, nope, it's still. Oh, I guess it's because of where the timing and scoring is. I guess Max gets to keep that DRS advantage over the Haas of Rhys March. And Oleski has picked up a 3-second timing penalty. He's getting ready to make a move on Colin Higgins for the 9th position. Oleski was running up towards the front of this race for a long time, and obviously we saw the incident that he had. But we've got a 3-car battle materializing here. This is going to be 8th, 9th, and 10th. Dion Stahl, Colin Higgins, and Oleski. We've got Sandro Dulius and Dennis Carenchis making their pit stops. Max Mulder down the front straightaway. He's going to get out just in front of Sandro. Woo! And he's bringing Rhys March with him. So Rhys March trying to find a way around Max Mulder. And
And Rhys, an interesting fellow. Definitely one of the more interesting drivers in SRL. Much like Colin Higgins, he's got some off-track extracurricular activities. Colin, we talked about him and his contributions to Drive Tribe, and Rhys March does some real-life karting events with him and a buddy of his. They own a kart together, and they do some competition. He's also doing some, looks like some boxing training. You can catch some of his videos online, trying to hone in on his actual fighting skills. So, another interesting kid. Plus, he's got a hell of a haircut. You see, he's trying to make a move on Max Mulder as they dive into the next corner here. And Dennis Carenci's working his way around Cameron Weston Edwards for the 6th position. And Cameron, why is Cameron on hard tires? Cameron has pitted for a fresh set of hards. I don't know if that was by design or if it was a complete accident. That would mean that Cameron would have raced on every compound this weekend. The soft, medium, and hards. So I can't say that was probably by design. I don't think he would do that on purpose. So, meanwhile, Sandro looking to make a move on his buddy Rhys, heading into the stadium section. Oh, and Rhys looks like he's going to let Sandro go by. Guess Rhys thought he wasn't going to be able to win that battle. So easy work of that, and now Sandro Dulius will set his sights on Max Mulder. And it looks like Rhys has dived into the pits. 10 laps to go in round 20 here. Whoa, and a big twitch by Sandro. And looks like Jensen has had to pit at some point. So Jensen has pitted, switched over to the soft tires. He's gone purple in sector 2. So he'll get probably the fastest lap of this race. I don't think he's going to make up 26 seconds in the last 10 laps of this race. Logan Arond out in front with a commanding lead. No timing penalties. Max Mulder. And I don't know if Max is going to try and run these mediums all the way to the end of this race or not, but Sandro's closing in on him. Battle for third heating up. This is actually the closest battle on track right now. And he was just outside of the timing loop, that 1 second timing that he needed to get the DRS advantage. We'll ride along with Sandro through the very tricky S's. Another 3 second timing penalty for Colin Higgins. That's the one thing I will say. The timing penalties at the end of this race could shuffle up the finishing order a lot. We see how many drivers have timing penalties. I don't like to see how many penalties that they have. I like it to be a surprise. Makes it for a more thrilling finish. So Sandro easily all over the back of Max Mulder at this point. He should very easily be able to get this third position. DRS slot open. We'll go side by side with Max Mulder. Mulder all the way to the inside, going to tuck back in behind him. And we saw that move work last week at Baku for Pierre Gasly to get back around Charles Leclerc, but that's not going to happen with Racing Point, Sandro Dulius, and Max Mulder today. And Sandro's going to be able to pull the gap that's going to move him into the third spot. Now, for what it's worth, if Max decides to not pit and stay within striking distance, He could get that third spot back with the timing penalties. We see Oleski's just made a move on Dion Stahl, so that puts Oleski back up into the 7th spot, and Dion picks up another timing penalty. It's not an official SRL race until Dion Stahl picks up a timing penalty. And Dennis Karenchis, he is 2.7 seconds behind his teammate Max Mulder. Now Mulder's lost touch with Sandro. He was close enough at the timing loop to get the DRS, but he's not close enough to make a move heading back down into turn 1. Dennis is closing in on Max. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that there could be a little bit of a battle for that final podium spot between Dennis and Sandro. And meanwhile, way far back is going to be Cameron Weston Edwards in the 6th spot, and we see Dion still within striking distance of Oleski for that 7th spot. A little bit of a lock up there on the left front as we head into that corner. Good run coming out of the corner for Dion. He's going to have a good run coming down the straightaway. Not going to be close enough to make the move. Very tight through here through the stadium section. The old baseball stadium. Whoa, and a bit of a movement there. Dion Stahl, the back end kicked out on him. Lost a chunk of time. DRS slot open. Working lap 30 of 36 as this race winds down here. Dion getting within striking distance. Not going to make the move here. Can he make the move coming out of turn 3 and into 4 down that straightaway? Meanwhile, Dennis is now within a second of Max Mulder, his teammate, for the 4th spot. A good run out of that corner for Oleski, and Dion's not going to be close enough to make a move again. So Oleski doing some great driving. He's got good drive off coming out of the corners. Dion trying to stay in touch with him, but just can't get close enough to make a move. Whoa, Dion cutting the corners a little bit. Trying to stay with him. He's also getting a bunch of aero wash off of Oleski's car. And there you see the front end gave out on him. Trying to stick with him to make that move. We're going to go back to the battle for 4th. And here comes Dennis Karenchis. He is going to easily make this move down the front straightaway on his teammate Max Mulder. So there goes Karenchis, and now he is going to set his sight on Sandro Julius. He is 2.5 seconds behind with 5 laps to go. We've got a battle for the final podium spot heating up between Dennis and Sandro. Can Sandro pick up the pace and maintain that gap or extend it? And Dennis has got that DRS advantage off of Max's car, able to cut that down to 2.2 seconds. So we're going to keep tabs on that. Meanwhile, looks like Dion and Oleski are still swapping spots. Dion's gotten back in front of Oleski. This is the battle for 7th. Oh, and look at that. That's Rhys March and Colin Higgins, the battle for 9th. And it looks like Rhys has just come out of the pits on a fresh set of soft tires. So Rhys, with his abilities and the new softs, he might be able to become a part of the battle for 7th. Trying to get my bearings here. And Colin Higgins with another 3-second time penalty. Remember, time penalties are going to shake up the finishing order as it is, I'm pretty sure. So there's Oleski. He's got Rhys March behind him. And Jensen Randall just picked up another 3-second timing penalty. Here comes Colin Higgins. Higgins wants to get back that 9th spot. Going to try and go around the outside of Rhys March. And Rhys, I will say, Rhys has been very conservative today, letting some of these guys go. Rhys could very much be in a much better position if he was a little bit more aggressive on track. But to be fair, Rhys doesn't have a lot of on-track altercations with any driver. And you guys can check out his YouTube channel, Through the Pit Lane. He puts up a ton of YouTube videos. He likes to mimic actual career paths of drivers. He's been doing a lot of Nikita Mazepin videos, mimicking his spins as he tries to make a move on Colin Higgins to the inside. They head down into the stadium section. So Rhys has let a lot of people go today here at the Mexican Grand Prix. He's going to get a good drive out of that corner, easily make this pass on Colin Higgins down the front straightaway. Yeah, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, check him out on YouTube, Through the Pit Lane. He's also got a Facebook page, Through the Pit Lane. You can also check that out as well. So the laps are winding down. Dennis Carenci still trying to make some headway. He's about 1.8 seconds back of Sandro Dulius now. Yeah, so he's not necessarily within striking distance with just 3 laps to go, but if Sandro did make a mistake, Dennis could easily capitalize on that. Meanwhile, Rhys March and Oleski still going side by side, and it's now becoming a 3-car battle. And Oleski has gotten caught up in some of these a lot today. Rhys moves himself into the 8th position on those soft tires. And Dennis Carenci's just picked up a 3-second timing penalty, and Rhys is letting the other guys go. I don't know what Rhys's mentality is. Maybe he just likes racing with other people. I don't know. But the battle for third, here we go. The battle for third is on. 2 laps to go in this race. And Dennis Carenci's is now within the DRS range, 1 second. He's floating just on that bubble, in and outside of a second. And meanwhile, it's going to be a matter of who has more timing penalties. And a 3-second time penalty for Rhys March. As we watch Dennis Carenci's closing in on Sandro Dulius for third. 2 laps to go in this race. Colin Higgins picks up a 3-second time penalty. There's a massive 3-car battle going on in the back. 8th, 9th, and 10th. But we're watching the battle for the final podium spot here. 2 laps to go in the race. Sandro Dulius trying to hold up a hard-charging Dennis Carenci's. Both have a number of timing penalties working against them. Whoa, and he clips the curb, and that's what I was talking about. And he loses the back end. So Sandro feeling the pressure of Dennis all over his back here. And another 3-second time penalty for Dennis Carenci's. So who's got more penalties? Who's going to get that third spot? Dennis might get it across the line, but Sandro might get it because of the timing penalties. Meanwhile, it should be said Max Mulder is within 9 seconds of this battle. So if these guys have 3 or more timing penalties working against them, Max doesn't have any timing penalties at all. Max could find himself on the podium for today's race. And it's a drag race down the front straightaway. I just got off of that. So Dennis has now worked his way into the third spot. And it looks like what has ever gone on in the back, Oleski comes out the loser again, as he is now 20 seconds off of the battle for the 8th spot. This was Colin Higgins. And we didn't really catch it, but here we go. Logan Arand has just come across the line to finish this race. He is out in front to the tune of 36 seconds, or 31 seconds, I should say. Here comes Jensen Randall. Meanwhile, we are going to stick with this battle for third. So congratulations to Logan. He didn't get much screen time today, but you usually don't when you're out in front running by yourself. Max Mulder just picked up a timing penalty. The one lone driver left that didn't have a timing penalty picks up a 1 3-second time penalty. That could cost him. He had an opportunity potentially to get the podium from one of these guys. So here we go, across the line. Dennis Carenci is going to come across the line third, but is he going to stay there because of timing penalties? We're going to find out. And it looks like he is not. Sandro moves into third. Max Mulder runs wide coming out of that last corner. And we're going to have a bit of a melee here at the end because people can't just cross the line and finish the race. They have to crash their car because that's what children do. Dion Stahl's going to cross the line. Colin Higgins is going to cross the line. Rhys March. So let's see what has transpired. Oh, and Oleski saying one of his rear tires blew. What cost him that 8th position. So that's interesting. So here we go. Logan Arand with another win. So an American will win at the Mexican Grand Prix. Jensen Randall tried going from last to first. Got caught up in a couple of melees. He'll finish second, but not going to affect his championship as he's locked that up 2 rounds ago at Vietnam. And Sandro Dulius with a 3rd place finish. Good for him picking up that podium. So here's your unofficial results for today's race. Logan Arand first, Jensen Randall is second, Sandro Dulius is third. Max Mulder does get fourth over his teammate Dennis Carenci. Cameron Weston Edwards is sixth, Dion Stahl is seventh, Colin Higgins is eighth, Rhys March is ninth, and Oleski is 10th. 11 through 13 are all DNFs. That's Jan Holm, Dennis Gutnick, and Jim Sinitas. Rounding out your 13 drivers for today's race. And new winner, first-time winner in SRL, Logan Arand. So good for him on that. He is looking to make a run at the championship full-time next season for Season 7. So getting his legs, stretching his legs here today. So another epic race in the books. So congratulations to Logan. And as we said, a lot of interesting drivers here in SRL. Logan, former IRS champion, International Racing Series champion from their season a couple years ago. He's got a big old trophy to show off for that. We talked about Rhys March today through the pit lane. Check him out on YouTube. Check out Colin Higgins on Facebook. He does a lot of work with Drive Tribe and contributes to them. Really cool kid. And guys, like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. You can also be sure to check me out, KAMIKAZE-FOX. I also have another channel, Lance, the Obscure Movie Guy. Be sure to check that out. Like, subscribe, and comment to that. And another great race here today. And we will see you at the next round. I don't think it'll be happening next week. It'll be the final race of the season, I believe, and I don't know when that will take place. I'm going to say 2 weeks' time. And then I'll also be sure to look forward to the Indy 500 coming this summer on Project Cars 2, where we do a one-off Indy 500 race. 100 laps around the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And be sure to check us out on Instagram for all the news and notes and post-race penalties. That's SRL at F1. That is linked in the description below. And that is, actually, I want to try and catch that. But yeah, that's, I think it's SRL_F1. So check us out on Instagram, and unbelievable race. We will see everybody at the next round.